Okay, folks, got a question off of Twitter. Who or what do I blame for the Green Bay Packers and their slow or poor start to the 2023 season? So there's a couple of moving parts here for that. Yes, it is true that just about anyone in the organization could shoulder some of the blame for the way that things have started. So let me just start where the problem is. It's not so much defense. Defense, middle of the road, they're playing good enough to win. Offensively, that's where it is currently just a black hole. I want to start with Matt LaFleur. That's my first problem. Matt LaFleur. I reference this all the time. Everyone's knows about it. Everyone is sick of hearing about it from me. I talk about the Matt LaFleur offense. And that's not just some kind of a myth. It's not something that I made up in my brain. Go back to the first year. You go find some games on YouTube. Maybe they're there. I don't know. You can find them archived somewhere. Go back and watch this Packer offense in Matt LaFleur's first year. Okay? Go do that. Go do that. That offense was somewhat of a hybrid of the Shanahan / McVay offense, and it was also partly what Aaron Rodgers was comfortable with. All right, year one, it's kind of a mixture of the two. Makes sense. Aaron Rodgers, your veteran quarterback, you're not going to take absolutely everything that he's comfortable with and toss it out the window. And the offense at the same time is going to look similar, right, to McVay, Shanahan, because that's the coaching tree that LaFleur comes from. Makes sense, right? So you've got a little Rodgers, you've got a little LaFleur, but you still knew what the LaFleur offense was. Again, go back, watch it. Watch some of the different motions that they ran. Watch some of the misdirection that they ran. Watch the way that the running game and the play action were married together. Just go back and watch it. You'll see there was this distinct Matt LaFleur offense that no longer exists. And I don't know, at some point with Rodgers, it just got thrown out completely as opposed to the hybrid year one. This offense is something that I think we could assume we'd get back to after Aaron Rodgers was gone because Matt LaFleur would want to run that, right? He's just never went back to that type of an offense. And that's what I call the LaFleur offense, the McVay / Shanahan type thing. Now, why is that important? Well, I think you can go back and look at history, and there's quite a bit of proof that when that offense is being run, it makes some average to below average talent quarterbacks look pretty good, look pretty serviceable. Brock Purdy, he thrives in it. Mr. Irrelevant. Obviously not the most talented guy in the world, but he looks good. Jimmy G was winning games with Kyle Shanahan in that. Jared Goff, for a couple of years before the Rams and him parted ways, he ran McVay's offense. Looked pretty good. A lot of quarterbacks, just kind of average, talent-wise, can run it and thrive, or at least get the job done. Makes up for a lack of talent when you've got good scheme. So, how is that important for this current team? Number two, second issue that's wrong, and we're going to combine them. Second issue, youth. We already knew that. We know it's going to be young. We know there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be times where receivers are running the same routes. You've got a first-year quarterback, not a rookie, a first-year quarterback, first-year starter, and a lot of rookie pass catchers or second-year guys as your veterans. You know there's going to be growing pains in that. Now, what would be helpful to the youth would be great scheme. Perhaps a scheme that makes average to below average or inexperienced players look good. Packers don't have that. Now, essentially, under Matt LaFleur, when you've got Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers, you can just, for all intents and purposes, just roll the balls out and play, right? Scheme be damned. It doesn't matter because Davante Adams is going to be exactly where he's supposed to be, and Aaron Rodgers knows exactly where Davante Adams is going to be, and their timing is perfect, and that's all you needed was each other, Adams and Rodgers. What happened when Adams left? Packers missed the playoffs last year, even with Aaron Rodgers. Scheme. Scheme matters. Scheme, did it matter when you had Rodgers and Adams? No, not so much. Two veteran players, two great players who could get the job done. But all of a sudden, Adams is gone. Scheme matters a little bit more. All of a sudden, Rodgers is gone in addition to Adams. Now scheme really, really matters. But it's not changing. See, Adams and Rodgers could overcome the opponent. And if need be, they could even overcome their own head coach. As young of a team and as inexperienced of an offense as the Packers have, they have a hard enough time overcoming their opponents who, as we always say, get paid too. They don't have the time, effort, or energy to try to overcome their own head coach, which again is why scheme matters. Number one, coaching. Scheme, offensive scheme, not good. That's the first problem for the poor and bad start. Second problem, youth, right? Combine those two things together, and the Green Bay Packers offense is a complete black hole. My main point is that Matt LaFleur isn't doing the offense any favors, okay? Yeah, Jordan Love, he's very inaccurate, especially on the deep throws, right? We know that. That's documented. No doubt. But you got to help him out. You got to do him some favors. Besides scheme, how about using the best player on your roster? His name is Aaron Jones. If he's not healthy enough to play, if he's not healthy enough to take more than 10 touches, then don't even have him healthy. And by the way, if you're healthy enough to take 11, 12 touches, you're healthy enough to take 20 some. No doubt. So, my biggest problem on offense, again, is not running that original McVay / Shanahan type offense, which it looked like LaFleur was doing his first year. That's my biggest problem. Youth, can't do anything about that. Well, I guess you could. Who else can you pin blame on? I don't know. Goody, I to a certain extent. Now, I think most Packer fans can agree that Goody has put together a talented defense. Now, it's being governed by Joe Barry, which is a major problem, but Goody has put together talent on defense. Goody also went intentionally young on offense. And whether there's talent there or how much talent is there, the jury is still out on that one. We really don't know. It's too early to tell. Even to a large extent with Jordan Love. You're not even halfway through a season with him at this point as a starter. You might think you know, but they're going to give it more time to judge. So I don't know to what extent Goody is responsible. I think he's put together talent on defense, but I don't know what's Christian Watson going to turn out to be, besides hurt. What is Romeo Doubs going to be? I don't know. I mean, he makes some flashy catches. He made a lot of flashy catches his rookie year in training camp. And, I mean, I don't know what he's going to be. He's not great. Musgrave, don't know. Kraft, don't know. Reed, don't know. Dontavian Wicks, well, he looks pretty good, but don't know. The jury remains to be seen how much goes on Goody. The slow start, not much of it goes on the defense. Right? Surprisingly, Joe Barry is the least of my concerns as we head into this week's matchup against the Vikings. Which is pretty sad to say that, because he's shown over his career to be quite incompetent as a defensive coordinator. But and the defense are the least of my concerns. The Packers lose the game on Sunday to the Vikings, it's going to be because the offense wasn't able to do anything. And again, just one more note on the whole coaching thing. You go into a bye week. Everyone knows your offense struggles in the first half. So what's everyone's talking about it. Fans, media, it's got to be talked about inside of 1265, right? It has to be the slow starts. So you've got a bye week, and then you also come out of the bye week playing the worst defense in the NFL. What do? Look the exact same. I don't know what the hell they did over the bye, but It wasn't anything different, evidently, because